Hi, my name is Nubia Rëzo, Nubia Rëzo on Instagram. Today we're going to go over the steps of how to create a beautiful Rëzo cut and a very tight texture. Let's start to how this incredible survey begins with an amazing, very detailed consultation. Let me ask you, Amber, what would you like to see as a shape in this haircut today?
I like to keep volume, so a little circular.
So we want to have our classic Rëzo, which is a very round shape. We already know she has a little bit of different textures, like a perfect curly client, much looser on one side and tighter at the other. So what we are going to do is work very unique and independent for sections. Let's get started. As we're going to begin the Rëzo cut, we need to identify how many textures do we have and where are the sections that are in a growing stage and where are the sections that we are going to remove for amazing volume. Rëzo cut has been known to the whole world for the bigger the better. So extra volume is what we will be achieving with this haircut. In very tight textures, we tend to always see this section to always be overcut. So pretty much that's the section that we are just going to oxygen. Rëzo, 3 beautiful sections from the apex, right? We go into section. We work only with circle sections, meaning nothing goes straight or horizontal. Everything works creating very much C's. Rëzo is 3 sections in general. Sometimes that sections could be 3 to 4 or just basically 2. Making sure sections are nice, separated. We're going to be doing the same thing in the other side. Clients will come to you always detangled, clean, free of products, and as well dry. The reason why is, as a curl experts, you really want to identify the texture that they live in that client. When we let them come in with any type of a product, we are changing the texture. So just make sure that that client comes with no products at all. Like I always said, the more naked the hair is, the better you could diagnose the different textures. Right here, we have our first section where it's nice to identify that it looks like a horseshoe or a big U, like this. As we see, she wants to create more volume, so right now I know that where she got more cut was in the top section and middle section, so mainly of the haircut will be at the bottom. When we separate these sections, we're going to make sure that the sections are horizontal, nice and clean as much possible. And at this point, to all my hairdressers up there, if the porosity of the hair is very low and you want to have more control of the textures, make sure that you use our Rëzo serum that will create an amazing difference for you to diagnose the looser to the tightest and where is that the cut needs to be done more. So now let's go and follow the first important tool. Let's work with the art scissors, the curve. My definitely tool to go to create the beautiful round shape. So right now, we're going to make sure to identify where the textures are. We could see they're much looser, tighter textures in section 1. So let's work with the shears. Rëzo broke all the rules. Instead of cutting it straight, Rëzo is going to cut into circles, into C's, in different angles. It's dependent on what texture you're working. That's how you're going to move your hand. Right now, let's do the circle together. Rëzo understand that the biggest elevation that it happens is going to happen at a 0 degree. With the art scissors and the curve, I'm going to start cutting the curls from the looser curls to the tight curls, creating my first circle, nice and clean. We want to make sure these sections are perfect in detail. The tighter the texture, then the pressure that you're going to create in that circle is 0 to nothing. Let them be right there. Perfection with the curve. Now, this is going to be my guideline to continue the haircut. So I'm going to identify my next section. Again, horizontal. She's going a little tighter as I'm going up. So again, elevations will be completely at 0. Following my guideline from the bottom. Again, with the curve. I believe the name couldn't be more perfect for Rëzo. We're just going into a nice circle. See how the blade works so beautiful. Taking care and cleaning oxygen without removing a lot of the length. Perfection, perfection. Open your hands to make sure that section gets completely oxygen and clean. Right here. As we finish, we're going to check, make sure that everything is nice and perfect. You could go back and again, remove any looser textures from that section again, as we continue to our next section. As you guys could see, in this section, she was removed more from the right side, and it was more left on the left side. So right now, I'm going to bring the entire section and blend it together, because now section on the right is growing, section in the middle is growing, and I will only be removing on the left side. Are we ready? Let's do this again. Again, at this point, with the Rëzo serum, you'll be able to clean this section a little bit more, hydrated, to have more control. Open your hands, remove from the looser curls, moving into the circle. The curve, one of the incredible things a lot of people ask me, why the curve is so important. You know, the blade is incredibly sharp. That's why we cut this and right here. We need that to be able to have a lot of control in making sure that we are removing everything. As you guys could see right now, the blending is so much better. And keeping a lot of her length, because at the end of the day, it's not removing the entire hair to create a shape, what is important. So now we could see that it's not a lot of the big gap in here. So section in the back is the 50% of the entire haircut. So the haircut is going to be going always towards the back, because literally the back is the guideline of the entire haircut. I'm going to drop one of the sides to be able to identify where I need to go. Right now, it's also showing me that is the major work, the removal, would be a section at the bottom. Other sections would be diagonal to the head right here, making sure never touching the back, because again, that's the guideline, so we don't want to remove that, and be touching our guideline, and then you will be overcutting what we were supposed to follow. This is a nice, clear view of what we just did and what it needs to be done in this part of the hair. I'm going to be taking my first section right behind her ear. And I'm going to take that with the back, creating the circle in here. The tighter the texture, I will be over directing to the back. But because right here, I don't know if you guys could see it, I'm sure you guys could see it in the camera, she's a little bit tighter in this section than what she's in here. My over direction is going to be very minimum. I'm going to start from long to short, following the guideline that I have from the back. Nice and clean circle first. With the curve, I'm going to take from long to short and clean that section very nicely. If you could look, the tension that I'm using into the circle and the C is zero, nothing. I'm going down to follow in front of her ear, with behind of her ear. Her texture in this section is becoming a little bit tighter, so you guys will see that my over direction is a little bit more. To the back, following the guideline, always from the back, but blending.